Hello and welcome to the Nikon D5200 channel. Today we're going to be talking about the 12 to 24mm Nikon lens, which is one that we've certainly used extensively in the past and you've seen at least in use on several of our videos. But we thought we'd have a look at it in some more detail so that perhaps if you wanted to buy one you could have a good look at it and see whether it's right for you. It's a 12 to 24mm lens. So 12 is the widest setting and 24 is the longest setting. Now 12mm is not quite fisheye, but it's very wide, and 24 is a lot closer, quite close in fact, to the human eye. So it's not a long lens, it's a wide lens, and in fact Nikon describe it as an ultra-wide standard lens. It is an AFS lens, which means it's got an internal motor, which is ideal for the Nikon D5200 because of course that camera doesn't have an internal motor and you need either the lens or the body to have a motor for you to be able to use autofocus. It's an ED lens, which means it has low dispersion features, which means that it reduces chromatic aberration, and it's an f4 lens, and that's a fixed aperture lens, which means that when you zoom in and out it remains f4 or indeed whatever aperture you set it to. Now f4 is the fastest speed it will go, but it does go up to f22. So all in all it's a pretty good lens. It's got a good range within that 12 to 24. It's a good solid build. It's an excellent lens for video, for example, and a good lens for travel photography and for landscape. Now, if you're interested in this lens or you need to know or would like to know any more, then just check out the links, which will appear somewhere around my head, no doubt, and there'll be a page on that and various deals, if there are any deals going, and you can have a look at those. So this is a semi-pro lens. It's not metal, but it's made of specially toughened plastic. It's quite a hefty piece of kit, but although it's got 11 elements in it and 11 pieces of glass, which obviously gives it the weight, it's not too heavy on the camera. The D5200 is not a big body, as you know, and it's not a heavy camera, but this doesn't destabilize it too much because it's actually quite short, which means that it gives it a fairly good balance. It's an SWM lens as well, which is an extension really of autofocus AFS. SWM is silent wave motor, which means that it's particularly good for video, and in fact it means that it's also pretty fast. So you're talking here about a reasonably wide lens. It's got a good speed on aperture to f4, and it's also pretty fast. On the side, which is a pretty good dinky little thing, I think, it's got manual, auto and manual, and if you set it on manual auto, then it means you can use autofocus and then you can override it manually, which is actually pretty good, and it means you don't have to go back into manual to override it and then back into auto in order to go back onto auto. And one of the good things about this lens is that although it's a wide lens, it's very good in terms of light fall off. When you get a wide lens, often with the cheaper ones anyway, you can often get some light fall off around the edges, particularly on the wider zoom settings, and that can lead to, as I say, either light fall off or vignetting, and even at the extreme, either 12 or 24, there's very little light fall off on this lens, so it is a really good quality lens. Here are some pictures that we shot earlier. As I say, we use it quite extensively, so we've had plenty of practice. So take a look at these pictures and then we'll have a closer look at the lens itself. The first thing you notice when you pick up this lens is the quality feel of it. It's a hefty bit of kit. It's got 11 pieces of glass inside it, And although the outside is plastic, it's toughened plastic, and it's a really good quality feel in your hand. The professional level of this lens is indicated, as with all Nikon professional range lenses, with the gold band going around the outside. And another good indicator is the fact that it's got a metal mount ring here. Now, some of the cheaper Nikon lenses tend to have plastic mount rings here, and whilst I've never seen a plastic mount ring break or become distended, it's quite a comfort to have a metal one, because of course this is the bit that attaches to your camera day in, day out, and if that gets damaged, then it's either going to cost you a lot of money, or you might end up with a lens that doesn't work. So the fact that it's a metal ring is really quite a comfort there, and it's a good quality make here. Now, the rings here, which obviously are decide either the zoom length or the focus, are very smooth and very solid as well. You don't get the impression that you're going to set that and then it's going to drift because you're going to move the camera or you're going to rub against it. And likewise with the focus, though of course, as it says here, it does have manual stroke automatic focus and manual. But the focus ring is also pretty solid. You know that that's going to stay where you put it, which is pretty good. The minimum focus length is about 30 centimeters. So you can't get too close, but it's pretty good for its length, and that makes it a pretty solid lens in total. And as I said before, it's an f4 aperture, which is its widest aperture. It does go up to f22. But all in all, it's a pretty solid piece of kit, and it's very well made. So as you can see, this is a pretty good lens. The 12 to 24mm Nikon is an excellent lens. It's superb for travel, it's great for landscapes, and it's also excellent for video. It's not the cheapest lens you can buy. There are cheaper lenses around, but I think you really need to look at this as an investment rather than just a lens. This lens will probably outlast not just the camera you've got now, but its successor and the camera after that too. And the thing that you do need to consider in this day and age, with file sizes getting bigger and bigger, is that your glass, your lenses, are going to become more and more important, because the bigger the file size, it means that the bigger or the more obvious poor lenses become. So I would regard this as a serious investment, a good investment, and something that could very easily last you and serve you for many years to come. As I say, if you want to have a look for more information, check out the links, but that's it for now, and we'll see you next time.